You know that feeling when you're walking home at night, hear one tiny rustle in the bushes, and your brain instantly decides it's a murderer, a wolf, and possibly a ghost with unfinished business? You speed up, pretend you're calm, then nearly leap out of your skin when it's just a squirrel. For Nub in the Stone Age, that rustle could be a lion, a hyena, a crocodile, or a giant bird sizing up someone's toddler. And this wasn't just paranoia. At Goff's Cave in England, a 36,000-year-old skeleton was found with hyena gnaw marks. By the end, you'll see why prehistoric humans survived not by being brave, but by being scared at exactly the right time. And sometimes, surviving the attack was only the beginning. Nub's morning at the river camp started with a leaf drifting down. He saw the shadow, flung his bowl, and screamed, "Death from above." The leaf landed on his head. Wife Paula tied up supplies. "Nub, it is a leaf." Nub peeled it off. That's how sky death begins. Baby clapped. Boy-child tick pointed. Nub screams at grass. Grass very dangerous. Paula crossed her arms. Your knees shake, Nub, but your eyes see what brave fools miss. We need you watching the trail. Nub tried hiding behind a basket. The basket was full of fish. The fish looked disappointed. Elder woman Moga hobbled into camp, stick covered in claw marks. Pack up. Old river camp is finished. Nub froze. Finished like sour berries, or finished like Nub gets dragged away finished. Moga jabbed the mud. Lion prints near the sleeping skins. Hyena tracks by the ash. Crocodile slides carved into the bank. We reached the cliff cave before sunset, Moga said. Or the river becomes crocodile feeding time, and after dark the hyenas leave their dens. Paula shoved a bundle into Nub's arms. Congratulations, you're leading. In the Stone Age, Moga said, the calm ones get eaten first. That wasn't grandmother wisdom. That was a weather report with teeth. And she was right. At Buri, Ethiopia, a 500,000-year-old Homo erectus skull had puncture marks matching modern lion bites. Big cats weren't admiring early humans. They were ordering lunch. Moga added, even famous bones from Hadar show leopards hunted early hominids. Nub whispered, so ground death and tree death. He grabbed his pouch, tripped over Moga's tiny hollow eagle bone whistle, and somehow launched it into his mouth. It squeaked. Nub gagged, spat it out, and pointed upward. Death from. Moga snatched it, wiped it on his hair, and handed it back. Keep it. If fear must make noise, make useful noise. The sun was already leaning west. Nub volunteered to scout first, which in Nub language meant walk 3 steps ahead while preparing to die historically. He crept between reeds, holding a stick like a tiny spear and muttering, I am calm. I am stone. I am. His own shadow stretched across a rock. Nub screamed, punched the shadow, sprinted backward, and belly flopped into thorn bushes. From inside the bush, the leopard has become pointy. He crawled out covered in thorns and landed beside gnawed bones. Elder woman Moga poked one. Hyenas. Nub went pale. Even after dead. Especially after dead, Moga said. At Goff's Cave, a 36,000-year-old human skeleton had hyena gnaw marks. The food chain does not stop for funerals. Elder man leaned on his stick. When bones become snacks, walk faster. Then wandered off, as if that solved everything. It was like your Wi-Fi dropping during a Zoom call, except instead of losing connection, you lose a leg to something with teeth. Behind them, the sun slid lower. Moga pointed west. Half the day gone. Reached the cliff cave before sunset, where crocodiles own the river and hyenas own the dark. Nub nodded with the face of a man just promoted to appetizer. For his second plan, Nub built an anti-eagle helmet from sticks, mud, and a confused fish skeleton. It sat on his head like a bird nest having a panic attack. Tick squinted. Nub, looks like tree got scared. I am protecting my sky parts, Nub said. A harmless bird passed overhead. Its shadow skimmed the ground. Nub roared, death from above, and tackled Tick into a mud puddle so hard baby dropped a berry and applauded. Tick spat mud. Nub screams at grass. Nub fights shadows. Nub very brave against air. Moga tapped Tick's muddy forehead. Laugh less. At Tong, South Africa, a 2.5 million year old child's skull has talon marks from a giant eagle. Berger and Clark say it's the earliest evidence of a human relative killed by a bird of prey. Tick looked up. Nub adjusted his helmet. Sky Death confirmed. Paula wiped mud from Tick's ear and faced Nub. Your fear is not wrong. Your aim is terrible. Then the route betrayed them. The sandy shortcut to the cliff cave was stamped with huge crescent tracks, each wider than Nub's chest. Nub froze. Big claw cow. Moga crouched. Ground sloth. Sloths are slow, Tick said. Modern ones, Moga said. At White Sands in New Mexico, human footprints cross and dodge giant ground sloth tracks. Bennett's team found signs humans had to avoid them, maybe even run from attacks. Nub stared at the prints. So slow death has knives. Paula stepped close. Stop trying to look brave. Your fear is the only thing checking the ground. That hit worse than thorns. So Nub went all in. He tied branches to everyone. Paula, Tick, girl child, baby, Moga, even elder man, who accepted one twig and said, a bush that walks is still a question. Nub declared, predators cannot eat what they think is landscaping. The walking bush shuffled toward the riverbank. One leaf tickled Nub's nose. A reed snapped. A frog jumped. Nub shrieked. Death from above, below, sideways, and maybe emotional. The bush exploded. Paula face-planted into reeds. Tick rolled downhill. Baby wore a leaf crown. Girl child calmly pointed behind them. Hyenas. Real ones. Their shapes slid between the trees near the river, drawn by all that premium screaming. The sun was almost touching the hills now. Sunset was no longer a warning. It was arriving with teeth. Nub scrambled backward, dropped Moga's tiny hollow eagle bone whistle, and stepped on it. A sharp shriek split the air. The hyenas stopped. Moga's eyes narrowed. Huh. Paula grabbed Nub's arm. Do that again, Chief Disaster. The sun touched the hills, and the river changed personality. All day it had been pretty water. Now it was mouth with reflections. Elder woman Moga whispered. Too late for mistakes. Crocodiles feed now. Hyenas move now. Nub stopped pretending to be brave. His knees knocked, but his eyes worked. Reed bent wrong. Mud sloped into a fresh slide. One bubble moved against the current. Tick, still muddy, wandered toward the bank. Maybe water safe if I poke it. Paula snapped. Tick, no. Nub saw the ripple widen. What he didn't know was that at Nataruk in Kenya, archaeologists found a 13,000-year-old human skeleton with barbed projectile points, blunt force trauma, and crocodile bite marks. Not one danger, a stack of dangers. Humans, animals, water, panic, all taking turns like the world's worst buffet line. Nub shoved the whistle between his lips. One shriek sliced the sunset. Tick froze. Baby blinked. Girl child pointed up the cliff path, where loose stones bounced down from hyenas scrambling above. Nub sucked air and yelled, Death from above. This time nobody rolled their eyes. Elder man dropped flat. At last, sky wisdom. A rock smashed where Baby had been sitting. Paula yanked Baby back, then looked at Nub like she hated how impressed she was. Chief Disaster just became useful. The crocodile lunged, jaws cracking shut on empty mud. Nub pointed with both shaking hands. Not there. Croc slide. Around the reeds. Everyone make big, ugly noise. Moga banged her staff on stone. Paula roared. Tick screamed like he was being chased by homework. Girl child clicked two rocks together in a steady beat. Baby joined. With one confused howl. The hyenas hesitated. Group noise, bright eyes, thrown sticks, and one horrible whistle turned 6 snacks into one angry monster. Nub led them up the cliff path as the last light scraped across the cave mouth. Inside, no one cheered. They were too busy breathing like broken bellows. Moga held out the whistle. You thought we would teach you to stop being afraid. Nub nodded. Wrong. She opened her pouch. Inside were tiny hollow bones, scraped clean and ready. We copy this. One call for river teeth. One for tree claws. One for sky death. Fear becomes system. Paula crossed her arms. Your knees shake, Nub, but your eyes see what brave fools miss. Tick stared at him. Nub screams at grass. But sometimes grass is near crocodile. Elder man nodded. A coward with a whistle feeds fewer hyenas. Moga placed a new whistle in Nub's hand.